Well, hello everyone, it's good to see you. It's Ren here. Welcome to my friend's room. My friend is putting me up in Paris before I can hopefully move into a new place, soon enough. Starting work tomorrow, starting a new job, new city, so it's kind of exciting times. Hopefully it will go well. And today I just wanted to share some thoughts that I've had lately on the peculiar kind of introversion of INFJs, and particularly the social introversion of INFJs. It's based on my own experience, so I'd be curious to hear if you have felt something similar or encountered something similar before, or perhaps it's just me. I also wanted to let you know that whilst I'm here, it's quite a small apartment, and my friend is out for a run at the moment, so I have a bit of time, but my videos during this period, which could be something like 2 weeks, might be a little bit shorter to accommodate, like the windows of time I have to record material, because I still want to release material to you. So before I move on to this peculiar brand of social introversion, remember that you can get my book on the INFJ if you haven't got it yet, The Ecstatic Soul. It's the must read, probably the most profound investigation of the INFJ. You'll find online, links below Amazon, less than $10, and there'll be a sequel next year, hopefully, so stay tuned. There's also my book, The Infinite Castle, which you can get for less than $10. Links below. If you're into Kafka, Dostoevsky, Camus, existentialism, postmodernism, modernism, Murakami too. And rumor has it, main characters in INFJ. Supports the channel if you get this very nice product. And don't forget, you can support me on Patreon as well. So thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. It helps me massively. So for the last 4 or 5 days, I've had very little time to myself, and this is simply due to the fact that I've been with my friend, and we live in this, I'm staying in this relatively small apartment, and we're spending lots of time together. There's not a lot of time or a lot of opportunities for me to find a space for myself that I have for myself. In fact, before that, when I was still in the south of France, I had a friend over for a few days as well, so I had to kind of be a good host and all that. And what has struck me is that it's been difficult at times to manage. There's been like this real deep craving for my own space, and a certain sense of discomfort at times with not being able to access my own space. But so far you might say, okay, that's a familiar experience. But the thing is, my friend who was visiting me in France, in south of France, is an extrovert, but my friend here is definitely not an extrovert. He's almost certainly an INFP. He has all the traits of an INFP, slightly older INFP, and he doesn't seem to mind at all. He's, he is extremely generous also with his availability, and he says, you can stay here for as long as you need. If you have issues finding an apartment in Paris is not always easy. So and yet, he just doesn't seem to have this problem, just because I'd be concerned and be like, okay, does he need his own space? Does he need to retreat to his room? If he does, maybe that would suit me as well, but it doesn't really happen, And so I find myself paradoxically in a situation where I've seen that in certain social contexts, I am more extroverted than he is. And yet, it seems as if, despite the fact that I'm more extroverted than he is in a lot of social contexts, my craving for my own space and the sense of discomfort that can creep up from not having that for extended periods of time is much more noticeable in my case than in his case. Now, you could have, you could try to find lots of different reasons, like he's older, maybe he's more functions integrated or more experienced or whatever, more flexible, or this is his place, but it doesn't matter, because when I was at my place welcoming my other friend, I had the same craving. And so my hypothesis is something like this. I feel like perhaps with FI users, so INFJs not being FI users, there's this ability in some weird sense to get into your introverted space, feeling introverted space in this case, even whilst there are other people around you. It's almost like you can tune out, or there can be someone there, but you can still have access to your introverted space. So that the need for an actual physical space that is just absent other people is not felt as strongly, because, you know, you will enjoy it, but you're still able to access the introverted space even when there are people around. Whereas for me, and I think this might have something to do with Effie, it's like, as long as there are other people around, well, the very fact that there are people around, when you have Effie, the people, by their very presence, they make claim on, you know, they don't do that consciously. It's their very presence that make demands on you, or you feel like you're being, you know, requested to act a certain way, to oblige a certain way. It's a whole set of external norms, you know, that accompanies Effie. Means that if there's another person around, you can't really just introvert into your own space, because you'd feel like perhaps it would be rude, or it just would be inappropriate in some way or other. And therefore, I just cannot tune out. I can't tune out. I can only tune out when there's no one around me. And so in this paradoxical fashion, it's almost as if INFPs, because my friend is an INFP, they can spend more time just being with people, with others, perhaps even ideally with other FI users, and still not feel that need for private space intensely, because they don't feel that pressure of others' demands, because they don't possess FE. Whereas I, despite my ostensible higher extroversion in other circumstances, just have this deeper craving for my own space. And a phase that actually physical and temporal as well. So I was wondering, have you experienced this before, and this sense of discomfort, and have you observed FI users behaving differently or having different needs? Just curious to know what you think. So let me know in the comments, and I will see you very soon. Okay, that was for my observations. Don't forget about my Patreon page. Really, really helps the channel. See you guys. Bye-bye.